Hello there, this is TENoNickname. Welcome to the final video in my StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty campaign playthrough. Before we jump right into the mission, I'm going to be spending my final credits that I have saved up from earlier. Seeing as this is the final mission in the campaign, there's no reason to hang on to all of that. Now, I'm recording this commentary after playing the mission this time. This mission is, as you can imagine, pretty damn hard. Now I'm going to be getting the final mercenaries here, because why not? And I'm also going to be going to the armory to purchase some of these upgrades. The most important one here is the Immortality Protocol. That lets us rebuild our Thors if they are killed. Then we can click on their remains, so to speak, and actually just rebuild them for a lesser amount of resources, which is pretty useful. I'm also getting the advanced construction for my SCVs, just to build those buildings a bit faster if I need to. And finally the missile pods for the battle cruisers. I don't really need these, I don't end up using them like once and they kind of fail, but still, might as well spend my money on something. So all of our research has also been spent, so we can go ahead to the mission computer thingy and see what this final mission is all about.
It seems my faith in your abilities has been vindicated, Commander Raynor. Now the final blow must be struck. Use the artifact to neutralize the Queen of Blades and bring this bloodshed to an end.
Alright, so the mission objective is to protect the artifact while it charges. With all of our research and credits spent, we are indeed ready to go all in.
The Engineer Corps is moving the Xel'Naga artifact to the base of the primary hive cluster. We'll entrench the last of our defenses all around it. Unfortunately, it's going to take some time to charge up the device for a strike against the Queen of Blades. Intel provided by the Mobius Foundation suggests that the Zerg will be attracted by the artifact's pulse emanations. Once it's activated, all nearby Zerg will go into a frenzy trying to reach it.
There's no way we can beat a sustained Zerg attack with what we got left.
The artifact itself may help with that. According to Intel, it can discharge what they're calling an energy nova that should kill any Zerg within its radius.
Whoa.
It takes time to recharge after each use. Otherwise, this would be easy. You'll have to activate the energy nova manually. Fortunately, it pulses on a subsonic frequency, so we'll be immune to its effects.
Recharge or no, I'll take all the help we can get right now, General. Remember, Kerrigan's still out there waiting for us.
How could we forget?
You've brought me the Xel'Naga artifact. It was good of you to save me the trouble of finding it for myself.
Warning, large Zerg force incoming.
We're not ready for this many. We'll have to use the artifact.
An impressive defense, but not nearly impressive enough. My forces are without number, and yours are dwindling by the minute. This can only end one way.
We'll see about that, Kerrigan. Let's get our SCVs to work.
Commander, the Zerg will try to overrun us soon. You should build bunkers and train more units as soon as possible. If things get out of hand, use the energy nova to clear out your base. The recharge time is pretty fast, so don't hesitate to use it.
Alright, so in this mission there are two things we have to do. We have to defend the artifact and we have to defend our base. The game has set up some perimeters here for us in these two choke points. Unfortunately, those are going to be too tricky to actually defend properly with these units and units we'll be getting on this difficulty level, so we're going to basically move all of our guys back and put them right in between the two places we have to defend, that being the artifact and our base. I'm going to put my siege tanks in a line here, right near the cliff, so that they can shoot up to the artifact and onto any units that attack there, and also defend everything else. Actually went ahead and destroyed my own building there too, just to clear out some space. We aren't really going to be using mercenaries in this mission anyway. I think they're a bit too expensive to actually use compared with other units that we can get. It's better to just make plenty of other units instead. Now the computer is going to tell us all the time that our base is under attack and stuff like that, and basically we just have to block that out because you're always going to be under attack anyway. I'm building another factory and another starport. Well, I built that and getting add-ons for that, tech reactors, so that I can make siege tanks and Vikings. We did take out the Nidus worms in the previous video, so we're going to be dealing with heavy air units this time. And that is why we're going to need all these Vikings.
Upgrade complete. The artifact's energy nova is fully recharged.
Now the way you want to go about this, or at least the way I went about this, is to make your land units and your land unit defense, or ground unit defense, basically be as automated as possible, with siege tanks and perdition turrets defending. And that means that you only have to actually worry about controlling units as far as air units is concerned. It's a bit tricky to make an automated air defense, as missile turrets don't have a lot of range, and there are also broodlords, and those have a crap ton of range. So you basically have to control your Vikings properly to actually take those down before they destroy everything. And the worst thing about broodlords really is that when they shoot their broodlings, siege tanks will again then shoot those broodlings, dealing area damage to all of your units, which can be pretty annoying. So you do want to deal with those as quickly as possible. Mutalisks can be killed by missile turrets anyway, so you don't really need to prioritize those over the broodlords. There are three main forces we're going to get here, while I'm getting upgrades for my infantry and Vikings. There is one group of Vikings and also my battlecruisers. That's the air army.
Heads up, sir. I'm detecting a large group of Zerg flyers heading straight for the artifact.
And they are used for situations like this, where air units are going to be attacking us. There's also the siege tanks in the middle, where we're going to be mixing in some Thors there later. Unfortunately that barracks died, but that's okay. So that's two armies. There's also a third one, which is an infantry army with marines, some marauders, and also plenty of healers or medics. Those are going to be used to take out Kerrigan later, once she actually decides that she wants to attack our base. I think I actually go ahead and use that Yamato Cannon and that Broodlord just to take that out quickly. You want to be very, very, very careful with your infantry army. They can get destroyed by Zerg units very fast, so if you can't help it, you want to keep them in your base, away from the battle. I mean, it's okay to kill like 2 annoying units with them, but don't actually engage the Zerg main force with them, as that will just get them killed and you won't have enough forces. You also really do not want to lose siege tanks, as if you lose too many of those, then you're going to fall so far behind that you're going to lose. Vikings, of course you don't lose any units, but it's okay to lose some Vikings because they're going to die anyway.
Lots of Zerg flyers on their way to you, sir.
There's just so many air units on this mission as that it's impossible to not lose any Vikings. When Kerrigan attacks, it's also okay to lose Marines, but other than that, don't do that. I'm building a row of missile turrets behind my artifact here now to help defend against Mutalisks. That will allow me to later defend more properly against the Broodlords. They won't be attacked by the missile turrets, but they can then be attacked by the Vikings, while missile turrets deal with the Mutalisks. I'm still prioritizing Viking upgrades and armor first before attack, as Vikings have area damage if you get that upgrade, and you should get that upgrade at the armory, or the not the in-game armory but the campaign armory. So they pretty much deal enough damage to begin with, so armor is better for keeping them alive, I think. The artifact is now 29% charged.
Alert. Class 12 psionic waveform detected. The Queen of Blades is inbound.
I'm tired of working through others. It's time I took a personal hand in your demise.
So Kerrigan is gonna attack us now. I went ahead and used the energy nova there.
Complete.
I'm gonna try to split up my marines and marauders here a bit, just to not take any area damage from her powerful abilities. She doesn't actually use this now anyway, but still useful to keep in mind, as she can destroy large groups if you aren't careful.
Sir, we're tracking a large number of Zerg flyers coming your way.
You'll regret that.
We've driven her back. Keep it up.
So Kerrigan was able to be deflected, or we deflected her for now. She will be back though. We're under heavy air attacks now, and that, of course, is what our Vikings are for. Siege tank out is pretty much good. We might get a few more, and I'm actually making some more now, but we also want to get some Thors. You can see I also already made one, and we're actually nearing the supply cap of 200, so that's pretty good. You of course want to stay as close to that as possible at all times. And as I was talking about earlier, my ground defense is pretty much automated. I don't have to worry about that.
More Zerg flyers inbound. They're coming in behind you. Watch out.
What I do have to worry about is the air units. You may have noticed earlier that I sent a couple of Vikings along with one battlecruiser behind my base and put them on patrol there, so that they can defend against everything that attacks from there, as they will be attacking like they did right now. And that works pretty much on its own, but other than that, there's still Broodlords that will be attacking other places. The Broodlords in the back aren't a problem because there's so much lava there that they have to get close to your base before they can fire anyway. As of course you can't build on lava. Making sure to replace my precision turrets as much as possible. You don't have to worry about spending too many minerals.
Sir, I'm picking up a mass of overlords heading your way. Ready your air defenses.
The artifact's energy nova is fully recharged.
So now a bunch of overlords are going to drop on our base and start dropping creep everywhere. That's kind of annoying, but not really that dangerous. But as I was saying, you're going to have plenty of minerals. If you make sure you always keep as many SCVs as possible without any oversaturation on your base. Basically want to have whatever the command center tells you to have.
Zerg everywhere. Sir, we should activate the artifact's nova.
Then you should be okay on minerals. Gas is more of the bottleneck resource. Matt Horner is complaining that we should activate the nova, but I think we're actually fine.
Class 12 psionic waveform detected. The Queen of Blades has returned.
Scour you all from my world.
Now that is more problematic, and we're gonna use the nova against her, because otherwise she's just gonna kill everything.
Base is under attack.
Nova isn't actually useful against the Queen of Blades, but her other units that are defending her, we don't want to take out those. So we're able to get a good surround on the Queen of Blades here with our Marines, and she goes down really fast, and we barely even lost any units there.
Another wave of Zerg flyers, sir.
Kerrigan's gone underground. Pour it on, troops.
So once again we deflected her.
Base is under
I'm getting
attack. Insufficient
several more
gas.
upgrades, now I'm also getting tank upgrades. I did build a second armory almost at the beginning of the game, in case you didn't notice, and that is useful to have.
Upgrade base is under attack.
You do have to watch out for those broodlords though. And I mean literally watch out, because they can attack from so far away that you might not actually see them if you're just in your base. So you have to look around the edges to see if they're actually attacking you. There was a corruptor there that I decided to focus down as well. The corruptors have a ability called corruption, and they're going to use that on the engine Nova if they can.
Another wave of Zerg flyers, sir.
That basically makes the timer stop, because it makes all buildings not able to do anything, including the artifacts. So we've got a pretty good defense setup right now. We're at max supply, which is always good at getting upgrades. I'm building a bunch of those tower thingies that slow down circuits. I forgot what they're called. But don't want to overmake those, but a few of them are nice. They do end up helping out quite a bit. But it is really just taking out those broodlords that is your top priority as far as actual in-game actions is concerned. Well, that, and also keeping on top of unit production. Your supply will constantly be dropping as more Zerg arrive, but you just want to make sure you're keeping with making units. Don't overproduce siege tanks though. Once you have a decent amount, then those are probably not what are going to die. So that's going to stay sustainable, probably. I'm actually making a save here just to make sure I don't mess this up.
Not enough. Our SCVs.
The things you do want to remake, because they're going to die often, are your Vikings and infantry.
The artifact's energy nova is fully recharged. Mineral field depleted.
And of course also, if you have any spare resources, you can spend those on the perdition turrets. You don't overdo it, I mean, you might need some resources as well too, but when you have thousands of resources like now, it's okay to spend some on buildings. My Thors and SCVs are freaking out right there, but they should be sorting that out eventually.
Class 12 psionic waveform detected. The Queen of Blades has returned.
You fools should never have come here.
And here comes Kerrigan once again. I'm going to send out my Marine hit squad once more to try to take her out, activating that engine Nova to take some health of her and more importantly kill her minions. Now she has that powerful ability there, which basically kills all of my stuff. So I do end up having to retreat there, but luckily I have siege tanks in the back here.
Sir, we're tracking a large number of Zerg flyers coming your way.
She's retreated again. Hold the line.
Now every time Kerrigan attacks, you're probably going to lose a crap ton of supply. Mostly infantry, unless you mess it up and lose tanks, at which point you should probably just restart because you're going to die. You can see those perdition turrets that work there though. They're pretty good against ground units, frying everything alive. I did build some turrets in the midst of my tanks there as well, just for extra air support. The Thors definitely help out too, and also are able to tank a bit of damage. I have that upgrade that lets them regenerate. Actually, I think it's a research upgrade.
Warning. Class 10 Zerg flyer detected.
Holy sh... Sir, scanners show the largest Zerg biosignature I've ever seen, and it's headed your way.
So now a freaking large Zerg unit is gonna attack me. And losing those infantry units earlier was actually okay, because that freed up supplies for me to make way more Vikings. And that is going to be necessary now, as air attacks are going to freaking explode when that large unit arrives. I don't actually have time to take a look at it, but you should be catching a glimpse of it pretty soon, I think. Yeah, there we go. that thing actually hatches eggs next to it, which are air units like broodlords. So those are going to be everywhere for the next couple of minutes until we are able to activate that engine nova to try to take it out. The nova won't actually kill the unit, but it will kill everything else there, so you can fly your Vikings out and try to deal with it. So at this point, you only consider one thing, and that is that you need to defend that artifact against the broodlords. Everything else is going to be automated to the point where you actually don't have to even care.
Your forces.
Sir, we're tracking a large number of Zerg flyers coming your way.
That's not entirely true, actually. You also do want to actually keep on top of your supply, of course. As soon as you see that drops below 200, then make units.
The artifact's energy nova is fully recharged.
Alright, so now that engine nova is here, then I should be able to use that as soon as possible. There we go. That will make everything else burn and die. And I'm able to attack this thing. It goes down pretty fast when you have like, I don't know how many Vikings that is, like 20. There are other units there, but they're burning to death, so you don't have to worry about them. And with that thing destroyed, air attacks should slow down substantially.
Class 12 psionic waveform detected. The Queen of Blades has returned.
You fools. You're playing with forces beyond your comprehension.
Now, getting that air unit destroyed freed up a bunch of supply because my Vikings died. And I'm going to need that to make more infantry soon because the Queen of Blades is here and she is pretty mad. She does end up killing a lot of units here, but somehow I actually don't drop down the supply. I'm continually reproducing units, especially those Thors, which take up a ton of supply.
She's on the run, man. Let's keep the pressure on.
So I actually survived that attack with 191 supply in the bank, and that's the best I've ever done on that particular Kerrigan attack, so I go ahead and save right there. Because that was actually pretty damn nice. The artifact is 83% charged now, and it still has about half health left, which is pretty good. Vikings are pretty much fully upgraded at this point. Tanks are becoming fully upgraded, and infantry is also with everything upgraded as far as weapons and armor is concerned. Making more perdition turrets there.
Another wave of Zerg flyers, sir.
Upgrade complete.
You don't need as many Vikings now, which is good because most of them are probably dead. For some reason my Thors are going wild and rampant there. Not quite sure what's up with that. I think they were trying to go around, but the ramp was blocked by the missile turrets for some reason. Well, because I built them there.
Base is under attack.
So really, I mean, I keep repeating myself here, but there's only one thing to this mission once you have an automated defense going. Kill broodlords.
Sir, we're tracking a large number of Zerg flyers coming your way.
Also kill corruptors, because otherwise they're going to corrupt you.
The artifact's energy nova is fully recharged.
Might be a good time to use the artifact's nova, sir.
Calm down, Horner. We got this. We're not going to use the Nova just yet. Not until an absolute emergency presents itself.
Insufficient base.
Now each 10% is about 3 minutes, as the mission lasts about 30 minutes. Which means that we only have to defend for less than 3 minutes now.
Mineral field depleted.
And I'm still doing pretty well. I'm at max supply pretty much.
The artifact's energy is peaking. Just hold out a little longer.
Incoming transmission. Base.
Sir, we're tracking a large number of Zerg flyers coming your way.
You have to keep on top of those Vikings now. And just make more Vikings. A lot of them are going to die because the air attacks are actually horrendous right now. There's a lot, basically. And they actually even corrupted my artifact there for a bit, so that was kind of annoying. I'm trying to make use of my immortality protocol as much as possible. basically because it's cheaper than making a completely new Thor, and that's pretty useful to have. Now while I'm losing supply left and right, I'm continually producing as many Marines as possible. Those are going to be very useful for taking down Kerrigan later.
Class 12 psionic waveform detected. The Queen of Blades has returned.
This has gone on long enough. Time to die.
And speaking of the devil, here she comes. So, my Marines are prepared to defend this artifact one final time. Now, she is pretty mad, using abilities everywhere. The artifact is 98% charged. All of my Marines are pretty much dying from that ability, but my siege tanks are also dealing heavy damage to Kerrigan. The artifact still has some hit points remaining, and Kerrigan is now actually going to be taken out. So she'll go ahead and burrow, and the artifact has been defended.
You will pay for this treachery!
I hear Sarah.
She's losing it.
Artifact power at full capacity.
It's now or never, General. Hit it!
And that is that. That was the final mission on brutal difficulty. And I didn't really think I would be able to beat this entire campaign on brutal, but there you have it. I did it. I killed over 3,000 units in this mission and only lost 170. I did the math. That is actually a kill death ratio of over 19, which is pretty incredible. Of course, the mission does make it possible to do that, but still. And I only lost 102 units to Kerrigan, which is a key thing here. Do not lose tanks to Kerrigan, because then you die. Marines are okay though. As brutal as that sounds, but this is brutal difficulty. Anyway, I'm going to continue now so we can see what happens next, with Kerrigan hopefully being neutralized.
Sarah.
You reading all this?
You have your orders, Mr. Findlay. Carry them out.
Titus, what have you done?
I made a deal with the devil, Jimmy. She dies, I go free.
We all got our choices to make.
Damn shame.
Jim?
It's okay. I got you.
And there you have it. Tychus unfortunately had to die, but it seems the campaign still got a relatively happy ending. The Zerg swarm has been defeated, Kerrigan has been returned to her human form. Or has she? We don't really know that, do we? And seeing as she still has that crazy Zerg hair going on, the answer to that question is probably no. And then there's still Arcturus Mengsk. He still sits on the throne and is in full power of the Terran Dominion, even though his position has been somewhat weakened through our raids and attacks. And there's also, of course, the Xel'Naga and the prophecy of the end of the world. Mengsk somehow ties into that even, with his experiments with the hybrids. And Kerrigan also seems to play a role in all of this. Somehow, her security and well-being is linked with the continuation of the entire freaking universe. There's a freaking plot here going on, and I cannot wait to see what happens next in the next chapter of the story here. Heart of the Swarm, which will be following the Zerg part of the tale. I'm freaking excited to play more StarCraft 2. But that pretty much rounds this series up. Thank you for watching. It has been a lot of fun playing this. Also, of course, thank you to Blizzard for making this amazing game. I'm going to let the credits roll, so you can see all of their names. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.
The smell of rusty metal, dead Zerg and napalm. The sound of friggin' laser beams and Gatling guns. Strapped into powered armor, got the ladies always looking at me. They can't believe the size of my over-engineered codpiece. Well, I'm a convict in a siege tank ride. I'm not Rotossing that Zerg, no, you know I'm tearing up the night. Tearing up the night. Tearing up the night. Tearing up the night. Alright. I don't want no shiny Protoss flying machine. I'd rather have a clunky, funky, rusty SCV. Strap yourselves in, girls, we're gonna soar across the stars. 'Cause when you got a battle cruiser, hell, who needs a car? Well, I'm a convict in a siege tank ride. I'm not Protossing, not Zerging, no, you know I'm tearing up the night. Tearing up the night. Tearing up the night. Tearing up the night. That's right. Hell yeah. You come in peace, well, I come in war. I'm counting corpses and I ain't counting score. When the Protoss charge and the Zerg start to swarm, I don't want no Zeus, I want my Thor. rough and tough like king. He can fly and he doesn't cry like a little Worcester scream. We'll never serve a king, no. We'll never serve no lord. But if we lived in Azeroth, honey, you know we join the horde, yeah. Well, I'm a convict in a siege tank of ride. I'm not Protossing, not Zergen. You know I'm tearing up the night. Tearing up the night. Tearing up the night. Tearing up the night. That's right. Yeah.
Alright.